Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexual. It's my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button down below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content as we go along. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 asexual stories, love, life and sex, a celebration of asexual diversity, answering pretty much almost any question you can think of love, life and sex in regard to asexuality. Grab a copy down below in one of the links. And I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Well, tonight's episode I want to say a huge congratulations to two beautiful people, John and Catherine, who got married today. They are both romantic asexuals, both enjoying the most beautiful love relationship, minus the sex, for life ever. I am so pleased for them both. The 31st of August 2019, and two beautiful asexual human beings, man and girl, have, or man and woman if you want to call it that, have got married. Beautiful. John has been my friend for quite some time. He met his girlfriend going to a meetup. So what happened, he originally came to one of my asexual meetups, and I don't think he'd been to meetups very much before at all. And then when he came to mine, he said that gave him the confidence to go to all the rest of them. And he spent about 3 months going around every single asexual meetup he could possibly go to around the UK. And he travelled every weekend to go to different meetup because he wanted to meet the asexual love of his life. And this is the determination you need to succeed if you're asexual and want a serious committed relationship. You're not, sadly, likely to find the relationship of your dreams on your doorstep. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying it won't happen. But it's highly unlikely that it's going to be someone just living nearby you. Doesn't mean to say it's not. But I mean, John lived in London and he didn't find his asexual partner there. He found her in Bath, you know, and London is huge. It's got quite a significant population of asexuals, yet he still didn't find the right one for him there. So that's what I'm saying. Just because you've got asexuals in your city doesn't mean to say they're going to be compatible with you. John was looking for someone who would go travelling with him at weekends. Not just that, obviously, someone who he would like romantically, and they would like him back, and someone he got on really well with, and he has a place in Spain. But traveling was an important part of what he wanted, and he wanted a really good girl for him, and he got it with Catherine, and I know how hard he worked to get someone. I know how badly women treat him in the past, just like guys haven't always been good to me in the past, and he's one of the most loveliest guys you could ever meet in your life. I knew when he got the right girl for him, he would just be totally devoted to her. He is that type of wonderfully young, old-fashioned type of guy, which I wish there was more of in the world, who is literally just interested in one woman. That's it. He's not interested in other women. Yes, he doesn't mind having other women friends, but they would always take a backseat, if you know what I mean. He would always be with her all the time. He would always be spending all the time with her like a best friend and soulmate. He would always be putting her first. She would be the love of his life, which she is. I knew that about him before he even got with her, and I knew that when he met the person that was right for him, he would be with her for the rest of his life, and he is, and he's so happy. I always see him smiling in all of his photographs with her. No, always, ever since I've seen them together. There's a couple, and I've seen them go through, getting, when I remember when he messaged me saying, I'm going to this meetup. He'd met Catherine once before, if I remember right back then. And he was, going to meet her again. And he was like, I'm going to meet her again. She seems really nice. I think she likes me too. And I remember, and then it progressed to being together, I think not officially at first, like not announced to the world. And then as they grew in confidence, officially announced. And then they got engaged, I think it was the next year. And then they got married this year. So it's like, whoa, it just shows you what can happen. And it's so beautiful. I would love to find the right asexual guy for me. I'd really adore that. I think he's Indian. I have no idea why, other than my intuition tells me he's Indian. But I haven't met the right Indian guy for me yet, and I haven't met the right asexual guy for me. It doesn't have to be Indian. I just feel that intuitively he is Indian. And I don't think my intuition's wrong. But, you know, it's hard. The only one I've met recently, Indian guy, has not been asexual, you know? I live in hope. He's certainly, I believe he's foreign, you know, but I keep my options open. But, you know, I just want you to know that asexual love really does exist. The love without sex really exists. You know, that you can find a sexless relationship forever that is loving, healthy, and very happy. You know, I'm so proud of them because I know they will love each other for absolutely ever. It's one of those rare type of loves there's no lust there. It's a beautiful, loving, caring relationship. And John is very, very wise for his age, you know. He's young, but at the same time, he's very, very mature. You know, he knows how to take care of his woman. He knows how to look after her. He knows how to cherish her. He knows how to make her a priority in his life. He knows how to be utterly devoted to her and not interested like that in any other woman. He knows how to put her first, you know. He's a really strong guy in that way, you know, and I really admire him. And I haven't met Catherine in person ever, but I just see them together in the photographs, and I just know she makes him so happy. And if he's happy, then I'm happy, you know. And I know she's just beautifully beautiful in her own unique way for him, you know, just like he is for her. They have such a special love bond. And to see an asexual go through all that process of the agonizing upset, you know, you feel pain when sexuals don't treat you right, when they cheat on you and they're not nice to you, and you know, and they don't really love you without the sex, you know, they're just after other people and stuff. And they, you know, I've seen that process, you know, and I've seen him like think he couldn't get anyone at that time that was right for him. And then I saw him go all out, determined to succeed. He even changed part of his personality a bit. You know, he came out of his shell from a real introvert to be more extroverted, even though he's still really an introvert. But he pushed himself out of his comfort zone to get what he wanted, and that's what it takes. That is what it takes to get the love of your life. That is what it takes. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to travel. You have to go to places you wouldn't usually go. You have to do things you wouldn't usually do to get out of your comfort zone. You know, I'm a huge believer in getting out of your comfort zone. You know, I'm getting out of my comfort zone more and more. I want to push myself to get out of my comfort zone because I know on the other side of fear is progress. Let me repeat this. On the other side of fear is progress. If you're not doing things that do make you fearful, sometimes you will never progress in your life. Sometimes the scariest of things lead to the most wonderful, amazing things, you know, in your life. The golden treasures that are hidden there. And I want to encourage you that if you're an asexual, you know, and you're in a city and you think there's no one for you, go and travel out. Go and message people on different asexual dating sites. Go and message people on ASAP. If they're in the same country, try and meet, you know, start Skype dating first. I don't recommend that. And then try meeting up with them. You know, but if you go to meetups in groups, you don't have to Skype them first because you're meeting them in a group. You need to meet them for a group in safety, you know. Obviously, if you want to phone or Skype them, that is a good idea too. But, you know, I mean, I'm personally very wary of any sexual person that says they can live without sex. I know there's a person recently and they said they were about a bisexual, and it doesn't matter that they're asexual, you know. And one of the guys I recently met in the UK dating group that's not for asexual said they don't mind if they don't have sex with me if they were in a relationship with me. But, you know, I can see all the pictures they're liking of the women with loads of boobs hanging out, you know? And so it's like, well, really? Do I really believe that if you're going around, like, saying to all the women with the boobs, well, not all the women, saying to, like, one woman in particular, oh, you look amazing, which, yeah, it's like, well, I guess it's just what people do, isn't it? But you know, I want to find a good asexual guy for me. Or if I was with a sexual guy, to be honest, I'd rather be with someone I'm highly aesthetically attracted to, like an Indian guy, to be honest. But you know, I don't necessarily believe that guy, if he's going around liking lots of pictures of women with not much on their top, would actually be satisfied with the sexless relationship. It seems a bit counterintuitive to me. But there you go. But you know, I know there's a person in my book who's with a bisexual, and it didn't matter to them that they didn't have sex and the person was asexual, because this guy did post in the group in front of everyone. I don't mind if you're like that, and I live in the UK. And then they said, "Oh, friend request you." So they did say in front of everyone in the group that. So they were brave like that, you know. They were admitting in front of everyone that they wouldn't mind being with someone like me who doesn't want sex or marriage ever. So I thought that was really nice. That was a good thing, you know. Anyway, I just wanted to, you know, congratulate John and Catherine. I just think asexual love is the most purest form of love you can get. I really do. And, you know, I know a friend, I've got another friend, and he's 58 and his girlfriend's 22, and they're both asexual and really in love and really romantic together and close. And so I hope they last forever as well. You know, they seem to have got such a special, unique bond, which proves that, you know, age gap doesn't really matter if you've got the right people in the age gap relationship. You know, if you've got two people who love each other and care about each other and have this unique, close bond, it doesn't matter what the age difference is, so long as you've got that understanding, that caringness, that love, that sweetness, that romance. It doesn't matter. You know, I like guys that are younger than me because I have more in common with them usually. You know, I'm like really young, and so it's really important that you get the right person for you, however old or young they may be, and that they just tick as many of your boxes as possible. I mean, I know Catherine is just the love of John's life. That's why I'm so happy they're married. I'm so happy for him. I know some of the things he's been through before in his life, which I can't reveal, but he really deserves a good girl for him. You know, really deserves a good girl for him. And I'm so proud of him for going out there every single weekend, driving miles and miles of wires to find the girl of his dreams, you know? I mean, I've got my best asexual friend, they're homoromantic, so I'm too female for them. But I know they will travel miles, miles to meet the guy of their dreams. Do you know what I mean? It won't matter how much up and down the country it is, they will go and do that because they're serious about finding someone for a relationship, you know? I hope to meet a guy like that who's that way for me, you know, who will travel miles to come and see me one day. And that will be the most important thing to them. I really do. Because, you know, these guys are really good guys, just that I'm not compatible with them romantically. But I know these are guys are such good guys, and they would go to the ends of the earth for the person that they love, you know? And that is what it takes to have a really loving, lasting, long, satisfying, committed, fulfilling relationship, you know? It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, but if the person's already willing to do that, then it's more effortless, if you understand what I mean, because they naturally want to do that for their partner. They naturally love them so much that they want to spend all the time with them. They want that they can, you know. But I mean, Catherine and John weren't living together for a very long time. He told me they were only going to live together for the final couple of months before they got married. So, you know, they've lived separately for a long time, and he was been commuting at weekends to see her. So you have to understand that, you know, for a while you might be living in separate places and commuting quite a bit, or one of you might be commuting more than the other. It depends on the other person's financial circumstances. At the moment, I'm not in a financial position to go here, there, and everywhere up and down the country. But you know, and I'm working on that. But I just, you know, that's what it takes. I mean, I would, you know, if I have the money, certainly as well, I will go and travel to meet the person. But, you know, I really love it if a guy would, you know, come and meet me and stuff. And I look forward to that day. I believe there's someone for everyone in the world, whether you're asexual or heterosexual, bisexual, pansexual, homosexual, panromantic, you know, homoromantic, biromantic, aromantic, if you want a relationship. I think there's someone for everyone there in the world. Every every type of gender, every type of sexual orientation. I believe that if you want a relationship, there is someone out there for you. Definitely, you know? And I believe we all deserve love. I believe we all deserve love. And we all have the right to that very precious love. But it's if we actually take the action to go and get it, if we actually deserve it when we deserve it, as in, you know, work with it and for it and really want it. You know, I think you've got to really want something to make it work. You know, I think if you've got two people in a relationship and one's more interested and one's more loving and one's more enthusiastic about the other than the other person, it's not going to work. I think you have to both be equally like in synergy with each other, equally enthusiastic about each other, equally wanting to be in a relationship together, equally loving each other, and equally wanting to go and see each other. You know, I think it's really important. Anyway, I just want to say that sexless love forever really does exist. Asexuals do get married to each other and they do have a long-lasting, loving, healthy, sex-free relationship for the rest of their life and live happily ever after. Because I know John and Catherine will live happily ever after. I know John, and I know just from looking at the pictures of his wife, I know that they will be forever, ever together and growing old together. And I just think that's amazing. You know, like I still consider myself really, really young, but I do think that's one of the beauties of being in a relationship is growing old together, you know, because we all get, you know, the years go on for each of us. And I think it's nice if you do have that special someone, if you want a relationship, you know, if you're happy with just friends, then it doesn't matter. But I think if you want that really, really deep emotional connection, soulmate, love, romance, then, and you want a queer platonic relationship, that really close, special, bonded, deep friendship, deeper than anything else you've experienced in your life before, then, you know, I believe that you can get it. I believe it's out there, and I believe it's out there without sex, you know. I believe there's lots of opportunities for us. I believe there's thousands of asexuals around the globe, and there's probably someone right there now wishing that they could meet you, wishing that the person would turn up in their life who's right for them. And just like you're thinking, I wish the person would turn up for me who's right for me, they will be wishing that the person would turn up for them. And telepathically, you have to try and meet somewhere in the middle, you know? I really believe there is someone for everyone. I believe there's someone for me, someone for you, and I believe you can find that person. Might take a while, but you can find them. Sometimes it's not the right time for you to find them, but then there never is a right time to meet the love of your life. You know, sometimes it does just happen. Other times you have to wait for the circumstance in your life to be right. You know, I've got a lot of things I feel that I need to do in my life, maybe before I can meet the person. Sometimes when you, even if you want a relationship, you've got to clear out the clutter of your current life somewhat before that person can enter, because there's no space, if you know what I mean. I don't know, you know, if you understand what I mean, that sometimes you might be doing things in your life and you might realize that you've got to declutter your life. Maybe it's possessions you've got to declutter, or maybe it's stuff to do with your business or stuff to do with your life in general. Maybe it's like got areas that need tidying up and they're cluttered. And when you like declutter things in your life, you can make way for new things to come into your life. Do you know what I mean? I've been learning a lot about this recently, about decluttering areas of your life to make way for new energy, to make way for new things to come in your life. And that if your cup is full, if it's overflowing with all rubbish, if you know what I mean, well, past stuff, past memories, you know, too many things around you in your home, you've got things in business maybe that need to just be ended because they're not doing you any good. You need to move on to new projects, and maybe you need to clear out your wardrobes of things, and, you know, just really declutter. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Declutter multiple aspects of your life, then that makes way for new things to come into your life. So one of the entrepreneurs I follow, he says, when the cup is full and it's overflowing, you can't pour any more into it. I've got 3 thumbs up now, thank you. You know, and I think they're so right. When your cup is full and you don't have any space much, you know, it can be a bit claustrophobic for yourself. You can find it hard to breathe, if you know what I mean. So in order to have new things coming into life, you sometimes have to declutter what's already there. So you have to pour the liquid out of the glass, as it were, out of the cup, and then you've got space for new liquid to come into it, if you know what I mean. And I think at the moment that's what I'm trying to develop in my mind more about decluttering, you know, more about getting rid of some personal things. I've got rid of some personal things in the last months, you know. They've been decluttering my home more. Some things I really like, but I'm thinking you don't use them, so let them go. You know, and some businesses I've got, I mean, this year I've acquired 5 domains, but I've got rid of 3, you know, and I think I might get rid of some of my other domains that I don't really use. Obviously, my asexual brand will still continue to go strong. I'm still here for you guys. But I've got other projects I want to do as well. So some of my old domains that don't really serve me anymore because I'm not really using them anymore for what I used to do, I think I may let some of them go, and then that will leave way for new projects to fully focus on, along with asexuality, of course. So yeah, you know, just think, if you want the love of your life to come into your life, the question is also, are you ready for them? Because many people are like, oh, I'd like that. But even me, you know, even me now, I think maybe just at the moment, my life is not in a position to have someone come into it. Obviously, if they come into it, great. But when, you know, one of the people in the UK singles group, which is not an asexual group, the guy said to me, well, about distance, he said, well, how would that work? Because the guy would be wanting to see you all the time and spend time with you. And I was thinking, well, I can only spend like 1 or 2 days with the guy anyway, because I'm so busy. You know, and he's like, oh, why? You know, like, why won't you meet them halfway? But I mean, obviously, he wasn't asexual; he's sexual, so that could mean like meet them halfway, as in have sex, or you know, like see them all the time. But I said, you know, I'd want the guy to move to live near me, and I still stand by that, really. But you know, he has got a point that when would the person see me? But I know that I'd be able to see them like once or twice a week if they were living near me. But to be honest, I need to really focus on my career a lot more at the moment. So I think maybe now is not the right time for me to meet the love of my life. You know, I know John at the time, he had, he was in a stable job, and, you know, he got his own place and everything. And kind of like what he wanted was the girl, you know, and he had time for her. He had energy for her. He had, you know, like momentum. He really determined to find her, and was sure of what he wanted, you know? And I think you have to be really, really sure of what you want. But I've learnt my lesson as well, is to be friends with someone first. It is so important. Like now, when a guy's interested in me, I'm like, I want to be your friend first. I can't be in a relationship unless I'm your friend first. And that's a good lesson I've learned, because rather than jumping headlong into, I really fancy you, I find you attractive. I mean, I might still say that I think you're good looking, but you know, because it's kind of nice to have a little bit of chemistry there. But rather than just jumping in at the moment, now I'm saying, well, I'd like to be friends first. I can't just jump into a relationship. And that way you can find out where the person really has the longevity of interest in you. You know, if you jump straight into, which I've used to do in the past, I'm trying to train myself to be better. So if you just jump into, I love you, or I'm attracted to you and I'm really romantic and want a relationship now with you, that can be very damaging, because you don't know the person. They could change like the wind. You have no bonds built up with them, which can make you feel very insecure, unsafe, and unstable, because you've got no foundation there. You have to build a really strong foundation of friendship first with anyone, so that you know them, so that you have a stability with them. Because if you don't have a stability with them, you're always going to be anxious with them. You're always going to be feeling insecure with them. And they're always actually going to be the wrong person for you, even if they were the right person for you. Long term, it's going to be that you make them, or they make you the wrong person, because you don't know them. And it's kind of like a reaction like, woo, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're freaking me out, because you don't actually know the person. Whereas if you got to know the person a lot more, if they did something, you'd be like, oh, I understand why they've done that. So there's more of a degree of stability in there. But I'm trying to Well, I am becoming a different person. I believe I'm becoming a newer version of myself, a better version of myself, one that is more how can I put it, practical in my mind, one that's more logical at the moment. I want it to stay that way, but this is a newer thing for me. My mind, I feel like I'm not in love with anyone at the moment apart from myself, which is always a good person to be in love with, yourself. I'm not in love with anyone at the moment. Usually I fall very easily for guys. Me in the past, you've seen me on this channel. I'm not saying it's not going to happen ever again, and I'm not saying I haven't got some feelings for anyone ever, or something like obviously when I was dancing with the guy the other week, I liked him aesthetically. I was attracted to him aesthetically, but I don't love any guy at the moment. I only love me, and that is a really strong position to be in. And I have a lot of work to do on myself. I feel a lot of personal and professional development work on myself. And sometimes the reason the partner, the dream person in your life is not coming into your life is because you've got work to do on yourself. I mean, you should always be working on yourself a lot, but I think I need a longer time to work on myself. I think subconsciously I'm not ready for a relationship yet, because I have to sort myself out, my life out, my finances out, my belief system, my mindset. I'm good on my mindset to a certain extent, but I've been doing a lot of, I've been on a webinar today, and the webinar wasn't as informative as I thought it was going to be. But the person who took the webinar, they have a YouTube channel, and I think it's one of the most popular channels ever back in 2016 for entrepreneurship. And I went on this person's channel, and I was blown away by all the fantastic information, stuff I'd been seeking answers to that I hadn't got the answers to directly before. And when I went on there, it's amazing because this guy suffered with social anxiety for years. And obviously, as you know, a lot of asexuals have got social anxiety. He overcame social anxiety, and he's now a public speaker. And he was bullied because he's Asian, actually, and he was bullied at school because of his color and his race. And he was the only colored person in his class, and he was bullied, physically beaten as well, and so he had a lot of self-esteem issues. He was telling us his personal story on the webinar. He had a lot of self-esteem issues for years. He didn't want to show his face very much. He was low self-esteem, as you can imagine, and he had social anxiety really bad. He didn't want to go out the house, and so he was telling us on the webinar, which is amazing, how he overcame all this. And when I was watching his YouTube channel, he was explaining how he deals with anxiety, because I still have some anxiety. I've always had anxiety. My anxiety is a lot better than what it was. I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder level 4 years ago, which is the second highest you can get. I believe 5's the highest. And so I was an extreme anxious person. And now I've calmed down a lot. I have a lot of my anxiety under control, but in terms of a relationship, I don't so much. But I think that stems from the fact that I tend to jump in more. Whereas I think if I become more friends with the person first over a very, very long period of time, and the person is stable, secure, and confident within themselves, and they really know what they want, then I think I will get a good relationship in the end. I think the problem as well that I've had, being honest, is that I've tended to be attracted to guys who don't know what they want, who are still sometimes living at home with their parents, who are, just not mature enough to be stable enough to know exactly what they want in their life, i.e. me, and to know where I fit into their future, and to be sure of me, because they're not sure of themselves. They're insecure about themselves. They're not confident about themselves. And, although in some ways, from a loving point of view, I could, because I care about people, I could be with someone like that because I wouldn't mind if they have got insecurities, because I still love them. It's not healthy for me to be in a relationship with someone who's like that, who doesn't know what they want, who hasn't figured themselves out yet, who doesn't know their life purpose, who's still insecure, who's still underconfident. Because if I get into a relationship with someone like that, they will be unstable for me. They won't be healthy for me to be in a relationship with them. Much as I love and care about them as friends, they won't be good for me to be in a relationship with. And I've learned that. It took me a long time to learn that, because I care so much about people, really care, and because I am attracted to guys, I guess, who I feel, I'm getting a bit emotional now, who I feel need my help. I'm attracted to guys who I see the good in, even if they don't see it in themselves. I'm attracted to guys who were outsiders when they were young, because I know how that feels myself. I'm attracted to those type of guys. But what I have to understand is they are not strong enough for me, because they are not strong enough for themselves. And you cannot have a stable relationship with two people to have a relationship if one of them is completely rocky like this all the time. Like, I don't know who I am yet. I don't know what I want yet. I'm underconfident. I'm not sure of myself, because this is how it is. It's like a vibration that's constantly up and down. Now, as much as you may love that person, even, you can't be in a relationship with that type of person, because they are constantly fluctuating. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm sharing this with you to help you in your future relationships, be that a queer platonic relationship or a romantic relationship. It even helps you to understand more about dynamics of relationships in general. The more I learn about psychology, the more I learn about relationships, the more I can help you guys, but the more I can help myself. Because I need a strong guy for me. I usually go away from masculine guys. I usually don't like the term masculine. However, I think maybe I've been interpreting sometimes the masculine incorrectly, and that a masculine guy is actually a guy who's really, really strong, who knows what he wants in life, and who's very, very stable, because I do need a guy like that. It's no good me being sure of what I want and them not, because them not makes me unsure, because if they're unsure, then I'm unsure that they're unsure. Do you see what I'm saying? And so you've got to end up being in a relationship with someone who's not narcissistic, not psychopathic, not sociopathic, which there's quite a few of them around. I have to admit, there's quite a lot of narcissists around. I learnt from a pattern changing course years ago, which was to do an abuse course. It was recognizing patterns of abuse. And I did it for 3 months. And it really helped me in my life. It really helped me lots. But I still needed that extra knowledge that I've got today, because there is a lot of stereotypes in the world where women moan and women, nag, and women do this and women do that. I'm sorry for all the people that don't do this to women, and I'm grateful that you don't do all this to women. And so I'm sorry that I'm saying this about people who do it to women, but I'm also saying thank you for not being like that, And all they are doing is putting women down and saying that we're not allowed those type of standards. We're not allowed those expectations, which is not true. We have to have high standards and high expectations, right? And a guy who puts you down about that, saying, oh, you want a lot, don't you? I'm not giving in to your demands. That is not a good guy. That is someone who can't meet your standards. And I used to feel bad when I was saying stuff, because I didn't realise that I'm allowed to have standards, that I'm allowed to hold a guy accountable for certain standards that I have in my life. And if the guy doesn't meet it, it's fine to say bye. It's not a case of I'm a problem. It's a case they cannot live up to my standards. Maybe they can live up to another woman's because they have lower standards or different standards than me. And that's okay. But in terms of my high standards, they don't come up to scratch. And that's the most important thing. And I didn't get that in my life. I thought that when I wanted something, I was being demanding. Or when I wanted something, I wasn't allowed to want it, because who'd want, why would she want that? You're not worthy type of thing. But now I have self-esteem. I have self-love. I know I'm worthy. I'm worthy of a good life. I'm worthy of respect from a guy. I'm worthy of a guy to talk to me and to cherish me and to have great in-depth conversations with me. I'm worthy of a guy to listen to me. I'm worthy of a guy to want to spend time with me and to do whatever it takes to be with me. My guy friends will, or my, well, I should say one of my best friends is identifies as non-binary now. So, they will travel miles to come to spend time with me as a friend. If they will come to do that as a friend, why should I expect anything less of a romantic partner for me? I shouldn't. And if the guy is not prepared to do that, then that's fine. Appreciate them being honest. They're not for me, because they've not got that. I really want to be with her, you know. And I once got, you know, I've been told by guys, like coaches, and also a guy in person as well, who I know, that if a guy really, really, really wants to be with a woman, if he really, really loves her, he will do whatever it takes to be with her. So if a guy won't do that for me, then I'm not the right person for him. He doesn't really love me, not to that extent that I would need him to for a long lasting, loving, committed relationship. So I've learned a lot of things in the process. You know, I watch a lot of dating videos to help you guys out, but obviously to help myself, but also to help you as well. Because if I'm learning and understanding things myself, I can then pass all these skills and knowledge onto you. Because it's important I share this with you. I want you all to get very loving, healthy, happy relationships for you. And I know there's a lot of people on this channel, and some of you are already married, some of you already are in relationships, and others are still looking for love and for a decent relationship, and they feel they can't find it. But I was told, you know, by one of the dating coaches, only about 5%, there's a lot of people in the world that could be the one for you. And they say to forget this myth about there just being the one out of billions of people in the world for you. There could be a number of the ones for you, but it's the one that you choose is the one for you, that is the one for you, because you've chosen that one. And I thought that was a really, really insightful, in-depth, unique perspective on the one. And I think it's more beneficial, because if you just think they're being one person for you, then with that one person who you think it is turns up in your life and they treat you badly, and you're a bit like, that's the one, they've got to be the one, then you know you use scarcity mindset and you have to stay with that person, you think, because you fear them leaving. Whereas if you think there's lots of the ones, but it's the one that you choose that's right for you, that most fits you, that's an abundance mindset. It means that if that person doesn't work out, you can find someone else, and that's a much more healthier way of thinking. I haven't really thought that way before, I guess because my parents, they're soulmates, and I can't see anyone else being in the same type of relationship with my dad than my mum, you know. I can't see it happening with the way he is. I think my mum's perfectly suited to him. They're like two very, sometimes they're very different and sometimes they're very the same, peas in a pod, but they were meant for each other, you know. So I know they've got each other, they're soulmates. So I know soulmates exist, so that's why I've always had the idea of one soulmate. I still think I've got an Indian soulmate, I can't help that, you know. But you know what I'm aware of is much more healthier approaches to relationships now than I have been in the past. I think I'm getting better and better at it, and life is a journey as well as what you make it, and I think you have to keep improving yourself all the time. I know that I'm becoming a better version of me, and I know there's more of me to come. I know I'm not at my peak potential yet, and I probably have got a lot more work to do on me, you know, but I'm willing and going to do it. You know, I want to become a different person, as in a better version of me. I want to become that better version, because when I'm a better version, I'll be a better version to be in a relationship with, you know. Probably at the moment, I'm not in that point in life where I can do that and be with someone anyway, you know. So I'm going to enjoy the single life, but enjoy working on me at the same time. I think you have to do a lot of self-development work before you get into a relationship for it to be a loving, happy, healthy relationship. Because if you're expecting a really high quality person who's really self-developed themselves, who's really reached their peak performance in a lot of their life, you have to become a person who's resonant, I don't know how you pronounce it, like who's basically a relative match to them. So someone who's very similar in that way. And if you haven't, you know, if you know you've got a lot more work to do on yourself, then you need to get that done before you meet the person. So it's always best that you're always working on yourself to prepare yourself before that person comes along. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful, helpful, insightful in some way. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate the thumbs up tonight. And keep working on yourself, your goals, ambitions and dreams. You know, don't just jump in with both feet like I have done in the past. I'm not saying that it can't work out though, because sometimes it does, but keep your sensible head on. And until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. Give this video a thumbs up, like I say, if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't already down below. Hit the great bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. And don't forget to share this video if you think it will benefit anyone. And I just want to say once again, happy wedding day to John and Catherine, who are both asexual and have a loving, happy, forever sexless relationship and marriage. I'm so pleased with them. Anyway, take care, all the best, embrace your quirky and each other. See you on the next live stream or video. Bye.